in a panic state. Run from her fear, held stronger than hate. Problems she holds in an enhanced state. Held in a fear much stronger than hate. Undefinable but forever fight. Unreachable to see in the light. Unstoppable, a victim of rights. Uncontrollable, hot days, warm nights. Hot days, warm nights. Warm nights and hot days. Hot days, warm nights. Warm nights with hot days. She's packing gold in a panic state. Running from her fear, hell, stronger than hate. Problem she holds in an enhanced state. Held in a fear much stronger than hate. She is the keeper, I am at the door. She opened me to reveal the light. A moment's notice, a sway towards the floor. Coming up fast, hot days, warm nights. Hot days and warm nights. Warm nights and hot days. Hot days, warm nights. Warm nights with hot days. Hot days, warm nights. Warm nights and hot days. Hot days and warm nights. Warm nights with hot days. I said days, not dates. 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 Hot days and warm nights. Warm nights and hot days. Hot days and warm nights. Warm nights with hot days. Hot days and warm nights. Warm nights and hot days. Hot days and warm nights. Warm nights with hot days. Hot days and warm nights. Warm nights and hot days. Hot days and warm nights. Warm nights with hot days. Hot days, warm nights. Warm nights and hot days. Hot days and warm nights. Warm nights with hot days.
G'day, mob. I forgot to do that again. How are we? Corvescule, how are you?
Oh my God. What's up, buddy?
Oh, you know, I may have made another erroneous decision to set up outside today.
Are you outside?
Yeah, beautiful clear day, but the wind has nipples on it. Big, rock hard nipples.
Oh, it's cold. Is what you're saying?
It is quite cold, yes.
How cold is it?
It says 17 degrees on my computer. 18. It just jumped to 18. How about that?
Oh,
feels
look at
like
that.
6.
Yeah, so
It's
about
quite-
65. About 65.
It's quite a brutal breeze. It's picking up and getting wilder, and there's big clouds on the horizon. Rain, that'd be something different. Haven't had much of that lately for a change. It's been windy and dry, the typical weather we get at autumn instead of in the middle of winter.
Instead of a flood.
Yeah. A flood would be a change of scenery nowadays, you know, just for something different, get a little bit more water on the ground. Anyway, let's get through all these people. Who won today? James Hukulak. Well done, James. Hang on, I got to mute for a second.
What was he doing?
I was doing one of those terrible sounds that I don't think should be broadcast live on the interwebs. Burps and farts I'm fine with, but not clearing your sinuses in a very, very rough manner. Huawei, how you going? Paddy, how do you do? Sky Dancer, hello there. Things are okay, I guess. Corvus Oskin in the chat, look out. Who else have you got here? 503. How are you, love? Good to see you. Where am I up to? Kiwi Mamo, kia ora. That's how you say hello in New Zealand speak.
How's that?
Kia ora. It's two separate words, I think, but I think you just say kia ora.
Oh, all right.
Kiwi Mamo may have to clarify. I'm not exactly fluent in Maori. Who else have we got in here? GRB, g'day, mate. Early start gets credit in the bank for future late-ish starts. Yeah, I'll give you that one, mate. BJ, how are you? Good to see you, as always. I think that's everyone, is it? Oh, no, DD's here. G'day, DD. Long time no see. Hope you're well. Vinoksky. Sup, Vinoksky. I hope I pronounced that right too, because I hear people pronounce it completely different to how I pronounce it. But when I see a K, I pronounce a K, unless it's in night or Knigget. No, hang on, you do pronounce it in Knigget, don't you? Just ask John Cleese.
No.
Now I've lost my place in the chat because of silliness. Oh, yes. Common story around here, GRB. Damaged, flooded out houses. People deciding whether to fix them up or move along. The problem is everyone's got to start moving inland. Ballina will certainly be underwater in 30 years' time with global warming travelling the way it is. They'll be sunk, and I probably will be too. I think where I am, I'm only 8 meters above sea level. I should actually investigate that and see what it really is. But yeah, it's only approximately 8 meters, and that's not going to take long to fill up. Anyway, what's going on in your life?
Oh, me? I was just waiting for the intros. I was just waiting on intros. That's what's going on in my life, man. I was just waiting on some intros, bro. Some welcomes, you know?
Yes, as is customary, we try and get them out of the way early so then we can just ignore everyone in the chat. Oh, hello. Haven't seen you for yonks, mate. And they're both here. Sit down. Sorry, that was probably very loud. Wait. I can't even whistle. Get out of it. 2 horses have just, well, 1 horse and 1 miniature horse have just appeared. I thought they must have gone because they haven't been in the back paddock for months. They must have much nicer grass in their other front paddock. Yes. What's the big one? The big one's called Monty, and the little one's called Victor with an A because that's a brand of lawnmower down here.
Oh, Victor?
I don't know if you've got Victors over there. He's a pretty gorgeous little horse, though. He's very fluffy with his winter coat. So he looks like he's got leg warmers on, fluffy leg warmers.
Oh.
It's pretty cute. And docile, which is nice. You don't want a horse that bites all the time. Anyway, that's enough about the horses that you can't see. Oh, that's how I wanted. I'm going to get rid of my stupid blurry background because it does crazy things in my hair.
The bokeh of blurry background.
Yeah.
Are you trying to make it look fancy? Is that what's going on there?
I'm working on a new show with a friend of mine from Geelong, and we were doing sort of a production meeting kind of thing yesterday. So yeah, we were just testing out various appearances and whatnot, and yeah, we were supposed to record our first episode last night, but then the internet died in Geelong. And we couldn't record, so fingers crossed his internet comes back by tonight so we can record.
What's the show about? Farts?
This show is about Comedy Bang Bang. Now, anyone who's been here often enough knows that I'm a big fan.
Mm-hmm.
And my mate Breno with an E, not an A, he's also a rabid Comedy Bang Bang fan. So I had
Scott Ackerman,
Scotty Orks, yep, and all those mob improvised comedy podcast. So I had this crazy idea that each week when a new Comedy Bang Bang comes out, we do like a after the show, you know, one of those things that everyone does about everything. But I've not seen one on Comedy Bang Bang, so I thought, why don't we jump in there and give that a crack?
Yeah.
So Brendan's got a fairly massive YouTube channel that just primarily does Comedy Bang Bang stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to record, and then he'll edit and put it up on his YouTube channel. Our goal is to have them ready, pardon me, by Wednesday afternoons, my time. So, you know, I can do that thing where we send people over to his channel after my stream to go and watch our new episode. So yeah, it's
makes sense.
We're both keen and fired up, and it was quite annoying last night because everything was coming together so beautifully, and then the internet died. So fingers crossed for tonight.
Yeah.
or even this
Do
afternoon.
you guys have is the government at all involved in like beefing up your internet infrastructure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been trying to spend stacks of money on getting the national broadband network sorted out.
Right.
And it's
Like
been
running fiber all over and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they started running fiber back in the bloody hell, back in the early 80s, I think. Was their first sort of testing and preparing the world for what was to come. But then it's quite a divisive thing with our governments because, one political faction wants to do it a particular way and the other one wants to do it a different way. And one of them still wants to use copper wires in certain spots. And, that's generally considered quite pointless for the amount of bandwidth that broadband is carrying.
Yeah. Copper is just stupid, and yeah. You might as well just throw your money out the window. I mean,
maybe they were being pork barreled by a copper mining company or something.
Copper has its uses. It really does. It transmits electricity really well. But it doesn't transmit internet very well. Information, not so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think I've got it around the right way that now we've got the Labor Party in power. I think they know their science. They want to do the fiber optic cable instead of copper. They've come to their senses.
Right. Yeah, there's just it's the funny thing because like one of my neighbors, they were asking me because they were like, "Oh, you guys got fiber optic? How is that?" And I'm like, "Well, it's the only way to go if it's available." And he was actually talking about, well, we have the coax copper cable still, and he was like talking about how like his internet gets slow, like really slow, when it's time to use it. So between the hours of like 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. when it's like, oh, I want to use my internets now, it bogs down because there's only one coax hub like that way down the road. And so it's like every house on this road that has copper is all on that same hub. It's like, why don't you guys just keep using technology from 1989? Sounds good.
And before.
Yeah. Just push the gas pedal on that gremlin real hard, and it'll go fast. It will. Boy, it really will. Yeah, but we just passed a big infrastructure bill. I don't know if you guys saw it in your news over there, man. The dark Brandon rises.
I have no idea.
Have you seen any of that? So
no,
there's the Let's Go Brandon, which is just the most idiotic thing ever. And then it's funny because like a lot of people just ironically say "Let's go Brandon" because they're just making fun of the old boomers that are out there saying it. But now the new meme is Dark Brandon. Dark Brandon has taken over the White House, and it's the Dark Brandon rises, like the Batman.
G'day, new local Austin.
And it's pretty funny. The memes are strong right now. That's all I'm saying. The only thing I'm saying is I appreciate the infrastructure bills and any kind of infrastructure crap that can happen. I'm for it. I don't care. Build some bridges. I don't care. Build some trains. Build the internet. Build whatever. I just start building crap. Let's do it. Who cares? Let's go.
100% agree that the memes are really good right now. It's become an art form, and it's some of the most intellectual communication in the media, I think.
The memes are strong. The memes are strong.
Shit ones, but yeah, there's
sometimes you get into a meme and realize that there's like many layers to this meme going on here. The evolution to get to this point is quite a few steps, and
it won't be long until you can sign up to a meme creating PhD in university.
That likely is just a communications degree. I think we already have that.
Yeah, I was
It's
trying
probably
to
just
be
a
funny, but I
yeah. It's
fell on my
probably just a
face earlier.
communications degree with a
A
what's the
major in memes.
yeah with a minor in graphic design, right? So you got a major in communications and a minor in graphic design. It's like he's a meme lord. Oh my god! Does he travel around in a telephone booth? Oh my god, he has a doctorate.
Let me bring up, because we were just speaking about him very recently, new to have a beverage with Blacky. Here is Babyface Bren. G'day, Bren.
Hey,
G'day.
what's going on?
How's it going?
It's
I'm
going
on
okay.
the yeah, good. I'm on the laptop, so it's a bit different to the other day when we were chatting on the camera and the mic. It's a bit different, but yeah, I kind of the guy that puts together the composition of the pictures doesn't like this because I'm sort of really big and it's not. I should be sort of like that, but it's cool. So, are you a fan of The Great Escape?
I am quite a bit. Yeah.
I figured from your name.
See, if I'd put Hilts on there and not the Cooler King, I think it's too esoteric for most people. They're like, they just they draw
I
a
wouldn't
blank.
have got it. I wouldn't have got
Their
it from
eyes,
that. Yeah,
their eyes just glaze over, and they go
I
like,
wouldn't
it
have
must
got
be
it.
a D&D character, you know.
I do try and remember to
no.
if I don't understand the name, I do generally ask you to
I
clarify, because I'm
own,
often confused as fuck by them.
yeah, I own every Steve McQueen video on hard copy. I own the hard copy of every Steve
The
McQueen
DVD. Yeah,
Yeah, the actual,
Yeah, I
the
haven't
legit
got-
one.
I've got The Great Escape on. Actually, I might have it on Blu-ray. During COVID, I added to my collection, and I cancelled my Netflix, and I started buying up movies, and I used lists of like I'm a movie fan, old
Yeah.
movies, but I used lists of the suggested films. I've got this collection now that's just freaking awesome. So I've
Yeah.
even got a lot of foreign films, like things like The Wages of Fear, and I don't know if you know that, but it's an amazing film about these guys. It's a French film. It's like 2.5 hours long, and they're just moving nitroglycerin, and they have to move so slowly because it'll just blow up, and it's just so tortuous, the whole film. But yeah, that's why I love films. So I've got this awesome collection, and every now and then, and it's great because I got a new 4K TV, so it forces me to sit down and relax, which I don't do a lot of. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've got a few Steve McQueens. I like Steve McQueen. I like I think The Great Escape's my favorite because I like James Garner too. He's one of my favorite actors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that whole film is just full of like heavy hitters. You know, it's like, holy crap, it's that guy. You know,
were they heavy hitters before they made that movie, or did that movie make
they
some
all
of
yeah.
them
It was like they got
There
like
some of them were
all.
starting out. McQueen was fairly new, wasn't he, to films? You know, he was early 60s. Oh no, he was 50s, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I think pretty much everybody was at
Steve
least
McQueen
a
was in the Blob, wasn't he?
I don't think that there was anybody. Well, I mean, I'm sure there were some actors or whatever, but most everybody was known. Like,
No,
if you weren't known, if you weren't known necessarily for films, you were at least known for, oh my god, it's the stage actor.
Yeah.
You know, which
McQueen,
I don't know. I don't know if that translates to these days. Like, I don't know if you ever see anybody show up from the stage acting, you know, off Broadway or whatever. I don't know if that really happens anymore.
Yeah. McQueen they were all stars, yes, because McQueen would have done The Blob and he would have done The Cincinnati Kid maybe by then. That was early
I think
60s.
so. I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder what
I know James Garner was because he was James Garner was Maverick on TV.
Yeah. Let's look up Steve McQueen's filmography because I'm not sure the order that they all came out in.
Yeah. Well, the Great Escape 63, I know that. Richard Attenborough is in that, which blew my friend away because my friend's favorite movie is Jurassic Park. Which have you seen that, Mike?
Not the new one.
Jurassic Park.
Not the new one. I've seen the every single other one.
Can you hear me, Mike?
Yes, can you not hear me?
No, the original with Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill and them.
Yeah.
The Spielberg one.
Seen that many times.
So
93.
So McQueen he'd done a bunch of stuff, but like things that are
No, you're freezing up on me.
things that are sort of me. Oh, am I? I don't know. But I guess
am I freezing
that's
up to
well
you, Joel?
known.
Maybe
I don't
Brandon.
know if you can hear me, but you're just coming in and out.
Oh.
Right.
Am I doing that to you, Corvus?
I'm on the 4G or what?
No, you're fine.
Yeah, must be your mobile data.
So
It is pretty taxing on it.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine.
Yeah.
No?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I'm probably frozen to him, so he can't see me nodding and thumbing up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
So
so slow.
So Steve McQueen, before The Great Escape, had done Hell is for Heroes, The Honeymoon Machine,
I'll go out
The
and
Magnificent
come back,
Seven, Never So Few, The Blob, Never Alone Stranger. So he'd already done a bunch of stuff by then. I don't know if he really became like a big star until The Cincinnati Kid, which was just after The Great Escape. So I think The Great Escape sort of launched him into the stratosphere. Because after The Great Escape, he did Soldier in the Rain, Love with a Proper Stranger, Baby the Rain Must Fall. I don't know if I have Baby the Rain Must Fall, but The Cincinnati Kid, Sand Pebbles, Thomas Crown Affair, Bullet, The Getaway, Papillon.
I forgot he was in the original Thomas Crown.
Yeah, he was the original one. Yep. So yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I don't own every single movie he's ever been in. I own most of them.
A good slab of them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe there's a couple I don't have, but
The connection was freezing, mate. It was amazing.
It was.
I don't know if you could hear me, could you?
We could hear you, yeah.
You were
But
sort of like,
you were a bit jittery and stuff, so yeah, I imagine it's just your mobile data is being, had its way with by StreamYard, taking all of your bandwidth. Yeah.
4G can only do so much.
Yeah, you got to get on that 5G and get yourself some COVID.
And you're starting to do it again already. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So yeah,
I don't know
might not be going to work for you.
Doing it again already with you guys. Yeah, you sort of keep freezing. Well, that's cool.
Can I get a mod to put up a link in the chat to Babyface Bren's YouTube channel?
That sounds terrible. Well, I'll catch you later. Nice to meet you, Cooler King. I'll catch you again on another one.
All right, man. Fingers crossed your internet comes back.
I still haven't got my internet back. I can't believe it. Of all the times for it to happen, it's just...
Yeah, I know. It was spectacular timing. We were just on fire, ready to go.
Oh, this won't, but I'm just... Eventually, I'll get my internet back and we'll do the thing. But anyway, I'll keep...
Prepping your gear. Yeah, if we can get subs over to...
Can you... Yeah, sorry, use it, however.
If we can get subs over to Babyface Friends channel, we'll...
In 4 hours, it'll be 24 hours. All right, well, I'll catch you soon.
Righto, man. Be good.
Yeah. Bye.
So, yeah.
Oh, well. See ya.
Yep.
Totally. I forget what I was going to say now. I'll put...
He's got to get his internet sorted. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Hey.
Sha-na-na-na-na.
I don't know where the camera is. Oh, I'm moving my computer. That's the problem.
There you are.
You have two options.
Yeah, and I chose the wrong one. How are you guys?
Oh, good. I've got chilly ankles though. It's about time I put on some socks.
Oh my.
Socks. Oh my god.
I've just got my rubber slippers on and my tracky dacks, and my ankles are exposed and getting quite chilly. Thanks,
Negative.
Huawei. And I forgot to say hi to Aubrey. Hello, Aubrey. Sorry I ignored you. It wasn't intentional. It was just lax. And yeah, Huawei did a link to Bren, didn't he? Yeah, so if you guys, subscribe to that, then you'll get, even if you don't know what Comedy Bang Bang is or you don't care about it, you'll get a notification when the show is on. And hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun to do because we're big fans.
Big fans.
And I must say, Bren has been into it for a lot longer than I have. So his knowledge and his memory of stuff is a hell of a lot better than mine. Hence why he is going to be the host of the show, and I'm like, I don't know, what would you call me? Not the co-host. I'm the color commentator. I do the color comments where I go poo and shit and bugger and all the dirty words. That's color commentary, isn't it? That's all you got to do for color. A few swear words here and there.
Just drop some swears.
There was a name for it, or that it was anywhere a desirable thing. Nice.
What's that?
Just not really having a lot to contribute, but funny one-liners and cuss words.
Well, it's like being the hype man for the. It's like being the hype man. It's like doing the. Oh, what's
Winding
that
the crowd
guy's
up
name?
for the main act.
It's that one guy that goes like West Side, and then he goes East Side,
Ed McMahon to Johnny Carson.
South Side. That dude, Wyclef Jean. He's like the hype man. He's just in the back every once in a while, says some shit just randomly. He just has his own name, Wyclef, in the back, and you're like, and then everyone goes crazy. They're like, oh my God, did you hear that part? It freaked me out.
He was in the Black Eyed Peas, right?
Yep.
Was he?
I loved the Black Eyed Peas, when they were current. But the one thing that I always remember whenever I think of anybody I associate with the Black Eyed Peas is when Fergie peed her pants and just kept on rolling.
Trooper. What a trooper.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do that at work every day. It's not all that shocking. Sometimes you're stuck under a big pipe or whatever, and it's like, I'm down here in the mud. I might as well just pee pants,
You just got to hope that you're properly hydrated so your piss doesn't stink too foul.
It's true. It's true.
Because, that dehydrated urine is soaking through your trousers.
You don't want that early morning. You don't want that early morning coffee pee, You don't want that.
Yeah.
No, it's
at
too
least
much.
save it for after lunch when you've cleared all that caffeine out in your piss.
Yeah. What do they call that? The phenols or whatever? What is it? What's that called? What's that? Hold on. There's a name for it.
Now I'm intrigued. A name for what? Your first coffee.
There's a name for it. Hold on a minute. There's a name for it. Somebody's going to post it in the chat before I figure it out.
That's always a fun game. Huawei says he was going to mention Fergie peeing her pants too, and you beat him to it, Shanna. Well done.
It was a very memorable moment, and I feel like a highly underutilized meme. Because there's this one picture of her. She's got one arm in the air and she's got the mic and pee-pee pants very clearly. And I'm just why am I not seeing this everywhere?
Was it on a one of their concerts or no, you're right. Yeah, I was thinking if it was at a awards show or something like that, that'd probably get a little bit more coverage. Maybe she's got a highly paid internet team who, as soon as anything pops up, they'd use their hacking prowess to remove shit from the internet.
Watch it.
Yeah. She's got the power of a corrupt politician.
Well, you never know. all these famous people have internet strike teams that try to do takedowns on stuff. Elon Musk is renowned for it. He's renowned for basically paying off hosting sites to remove stuff he doesn't want.
Who has more money, him or Bezos?
Bezos.
Yeah, because
They're both
Bezos hits on
terrifying.
most of his. Elon spends his.
Well, now the problem is that like most of Elon Musk's money, his money, air quote, is speculative, right? So there's a subtle difference between their wealth, right? Is that like on paper they might go like, oh, Elon Musk's the richest man in the world, but then you go like, but he can't do much with it, right? And as you could see from the demonstration of him being unable to purchase Twitter because so basically what he would have had to do is sell off all of his Tesla stock in these like incremental bunches to make these like $13 billion payments. But every time he would have done that, a sell off like that, it would have dramatically lowered his share holding of the company, and B, the stock price itself, because the owner is selling off these huge chunks of the shares. So it's weird because like, so let's say the first, and I'm just using random numbers here, but like let's say the first chunk was 100,000 shares and he got 13 billion for it. Like the next time he sold shares, he would have to sell 150,000 shares to get to that 13 billion. And then the next time it's 200,000. And then the next time it's this to acquire all that money. And then he would have no longer been the shareholder in Tesla. So then he would have just essentially traded places with the board of Twitter, which like it's a company that doesn't make money. Like, so
that would be so bad.
Yep. So it's like that's why he's having to back out from that deal, is that the mess or the mess that he put himself in is that like there's really no out other than him to back out, which is probably going to cost him about $2 billion. He's going to have to liquidate like $2 billion and give it to Twitter. Like, here, my bad, So when memeing goes wrong, like we were talking about memeing earlier, this is what happens when memeing goes wrong, $2 billion. You got to give it to the Twitter lords, the meme lords themselves, right?
I'm just going to throw it out there that with as much money as he has to have some solid advisors in there. It can't be all yes men.
It's all yes men. That's the problem.
Whatever.
He just had a baby with one of his execs. He impregnated one of his executives and had a baby with them.
I mean,
can you imagine if your boss came to you and was like, I want to put a baby in you, and you were like, okay, I'm an executive at this company, I guess just put a baby inside my body. That's how much of he's surrounded by yes men and women.
Here's the thing though, like as much as I'm done with having kids, like I have one, he is 16. The idea of going back and starting with an infant where the exhaustion almost killed me at 25 is not, like, I can't tell you how much that's not going to happen. But when you start talking to me in billions of dollars.
Oh, you're not going to get any money for it. You can just ask the other mothers of his kids. Or his kid that just turned 18 and swore off the Musk name. They legally changed their last name. They don't want to have anything to do with Elon.
Well, I need a deadbeat dad like a hole in the head. I'm good. Yeah. Nah.
You would be better off to just be the flight stewardess that he told her, well, allegedly told her that he took out his member on the plane and showed it to her. And then said, we should have sex. And he said he was going to allegedly said that he was going to buy her a pony. Right?
I'm glad you keep putting those allegedlys in there.
Well, there was a $250,000 payoff to her. She received a $250,000 settlement.
Found her price.
Allegedly. I don't know.
That would be a $250,000 PP flick. Because if you whip that out I don't care who you are, it's getting flicked, smacked, whacked, hit with an object. Like, that is not acceptable. That's like a poisonous snake popping up somewhere. It's like, smack. No,
Yeah,
Maybe
no.
that's what he was
It
chasing.
would never get to the pony conversation. Poor guy. And then I'd probably go to jail for assault or something because he has more money than Jesus.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
No, I mean the guy's a disaster. I mean, there's so many weird people that idolize him and whatnot, and the dude's just a disaster. That got lucky in the early internet and is basically got too much. He had too much money to fail early on. Yeah.
I want too much money to fail. That's all.
It'd kind of be nice, wouldn't it?
Right? I can't imagine. Like, I feel like my bar for too much money to fail and Elon Musk's are probably a bit different, but
Slightly apart.
Yeah, because I think he got I forget how much he got paid for PayPal, which he didn't even create PayPal. He just bought in on it. The same way that he bought in on Tesla. He didn't even invent any of those cars. He didn't even invent the Tesla company. He just bought his way in there. And so it's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny scenario. But I highly recommend anybody to look into it a little bit, and you start to realize, like, wow, this guy actually is just not good. Not good. Yeah.
I'd rather just take your word for it. Like,
But the weird thing is, so you were asking, like, the difference between Bezos and Elon Musk is that, like, Jeff Bezos is like way wealthier than Elon Musk is, and just from the standpoint of the infrastructure of the businesses that he has are insane. Like, they're making products, they're shipping products, they're doing last mile delivery, it's so big.
He has companies that he owns that bill each other to keep him going.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. It's like, it's not even a comparison. And I bet if they were standing in a room together, it's like, Bezos would just be like, just laughing at him. Like, what do you got? What do you got? What are you gonna do? Blow up another rocket? Get out of here. Like, I don't know. He would just laugh in his face. And Bezos would be like, I just bought another $500 million yacht, and the Netherlands won't let me launch it because I have to crash through a bridge to get it out. But I don't even care because I have another $500 million yacht that would swallow it for breakfast. Yeah. You're just like, okay.
Hello, Alyssa Bentley. How are you?
Which is actually, so here's the funny thing. So if you look at, and here's like the easy way, here's the super layman's easy way to compare it. Look at early Jeff Bezos versus early Elon Musk in straight physicality. Like, just look at their physical features, right? Elon Musk was going bald. He got hair plugs, all this stuff, and now he's like out of shape and just looking like a mess. Jeff Bezos went bald and started shaving his head and working out like a madman. And he's like jacked. Like, the dude is like in crazy good shape. And you kind of go like, there's a subtle difference here of how each guy is being rich. And you go like, one guy's pasty and looks like he might be a buoy out in the ocean. And the other guy is like, I'm going to do everything I can to physically survive forever because everything is rad, Like,
I sent you that picture of Elon the other day, didn't I? Where it was a small Elon sitting is actually controlling the dad bod Elon.
That's right. The dad bod Elon is weird.
It's quite funny.
It's a weird vibe, man. I don't know if I saw that dude and I didn't know it was Elon Musk. If it was just some guy that just was looking like that, walking around on the beach, I might stop him and be like, you should probably go to the hospital right now because I don't know what is happening with you, with your weird body shape. Like, just go right now to the hospital and ask the doctors if it's okay.
He looks like
I'll send you that picture, Shanna. So
made famous in the 70s for a very long time. And now he's just old and pale and greasy.
It's a weird mess.
I sent you that picture of Elon as well, Shanna, so that you can know the one that I'm talking about.
Okay, so weirdly specific thing I would like to point out. At a certain age, we all get to the point where our skin is now just this looser sack kind of hanging off of us. That's what it looks like if you blow it up really big. When your skin's just a sack hanging off you.
It's. I mean, the one on the right is a fantastic image, but that picture on the left is really disconcerting.
It's
That's
It's
a
a
really
mess.
weird torso shape he's got there.
yeah.
Mm,
Oh,
But, you
Shannon,
know,
yes.
we didn't get an update on we didn't get your weather update. You're down in Oregon, right?
Yes. It's hot as balls, but it was all 3 seasons today. We had spring, summer, and fall. Very nice. Very nice. But it was like 100.
Ah,
I
it was
think
super
in
weird. It was
Charleston.
like 90 out. It was like 90 out yesterday. And then this morning I got to work. It was like dark out, and I went out to get something out of my truck, and it was raining. And I was like, "What is going on? Like, what is happening right now?" And they're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, apparently it's going to rain a little bit today." And I'm like, "Okay." And then it just never really. It didn't get hot today, which is actually kind of nice.
So creepy.
It's a mess.
Also, I feel like I've gone on first dates with that guy. Not actually Elon Musk, but like the regular version of that.
There are some guys like that that are wandering around. If you see them on the beach, send them to the hospital.
They
Well,
To get a
clearly
crazy
need
doctor's
thing-
note.
IV fluids.
the crazy thing about that photo is it looks like he's sucking his gut in so hard that it makes his chest look ridiculous.
It's a mess.
It's like if you're gonna have a body like that, just own it. Let it flop out, mate. As if if
Especially
it's
since
gonna
you're
make
a
it look so much
dude.
worse. Yeah.
Can dudes have dad bods? Is that okay?
Apparently, it's become a whole thing. I feel like we should just keep body shaming each other until everybody covers up. Quits trying so hard. Like there's way too much shaving happening that wouldn't. I think we should all adopt burqas. Like we're gonna need some cool weather ones, but like no muss, no fuss. Done.
We're just going straight Sharia law. Is that what we're doing?
No, none of that.
Oh.
Just the outfits. And the women's
just the
outfit
outfit.
for everybody. Guys too. You don't get to wear
Do-
the different version. It's like school uniforms when the kids can't quit fighting, so they institute it. Like we get that with that gear.
And black's
I don't-
always in fashion too.
Do burqas have pockets? That's my first question.
Mine would be full of pockets. They'd be
Oh,
like
okay.
a pair of Carhartt overalls. It'd be pockets and pockets on pockets with loops. It'd be a utility burqa.
Why can't we
A
just wear
cargo
Carhartt
burqa.
overalls? Those already exist.
Because guys look great in them and women look like refrigerators.
Well, we get ours fitted. That's the difference.
Also, I don't want to have to get naked to pee.
You get the butt flap installed.
I don't think that would be a good thing to do around guys because I feel like even my buddies would just be like, yep, she's got a butt flap.
It could have a
Yep.
zipper on it as opposed to the buttons. You know?
Okay, if it wasn't snaps, I feel like they would be able to resist.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good name for a band. Butt
Have
flap.
you ever? Has that ever happened to you on a job site? Does somebody come up and rip off your back pockets?
In
No.
my high school, it was a thing to
Ah.
rip off the Wrangler tags off of jeans with your teeth off the butt.
With your teeth?
Yeah, I didn't do it. I was
Oh.
like, no.
Sounds
they
like a
are.
fun school.
Mm.
That's gonna sounds like the dentists, orthodontists, and dentists were probably pretty excited about that trend.
Yeah, well, I remember in primary school, that's our elementary school compared to you guys. It was a big thing because we had these little grey shorts as part of our uniform, and they had a back pocket on them, and it was definitely a thing that you'd see half the dudes in your year at school walking around with a pocket half hanging off
The
or
pocket's just
completely
off.
gone.
I mean, if
But
you get a,
mostly,
if you get,
very, very rarely you get it on the first go.
Yeah,
it takes a
yeah.
couple of good rips.
if you can get it at like full steam, you can actually just rip all the way down the pant leg and just get the pants all the way off, which is, I got to admit, that's optimal. If you're going for full destruction, that's
That's solid technique.
That's the move right there.
I don't know. I feel like the best destruction is a quality self-destruction. Like when I was in high school and thought I was super cool and always kicked the push bar door open. Well, one day in my super tight pants, I kicked the push bar open and ripped my pants completely open, super loud in front of God and everyone. And even I had to laugh because there is nothing better than somebody doing it full blown to themselves.
Mhm.
Nobody even had to mess with you on that one. You just gave it like a gift.
Oh, Huawei usually gets naked to use the urinal, which is why we get along, because I do that too. Although sometimes I just Winnie the Pooh, I just take all my pants off and leave my shirt on, Winnie the Pooh style. I normally hang my pants up on that hook, and then get in there, do some peeing, do some hard peeing. I figure I look at it this way, just in case somebody comes in, they just get to look at some buns, and
this day and age, you're not allowed to bathroom shame people, so it's becoming more and more frequent that you enter a men's bathroom and you approach the urinal and there's at least 2 or 3 dudes standing there completely trouserless.
Yeah, just naked.
It's become a thing.
Yeah. Have you ever done the?
I hope not. Sorry.
Have you ever done the AC Slater? Have you ever tried that before? I don't drink anymore. But the AC Slater. If you remember the show
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell. AC Slater was a guy, and he always turned around and sat in his chair backwards, like a cool kid. And so what you got to do, if you're super hungover, is when you do the AC Slater. Like if you're so hungover you're still drunk and like you might throw up and you're like dizzy and stuff and sweaty, but you got to poop. That's when you pull the AC Slater, because you just take your pants off and you face backwards. So you can just lay down.
That's how Butters does it.
So you can just lay down on the tank and take a little nap if you're getting too exhausted. You just take a little nap-a-rooney there, lay your head down.
I thought you were saying you were gonna throw up in the back of the toilet, and I'm like,
no, that's an upper deck. That's an upper deck. If you do anything in the back of the toilet, that's an upper deck.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's how Butters did it. Butters from South Park said he sits back that way, so he's got a little shelf to put his snacks and his comic book on.
That's pretty good. AC Slater came first, though. Butters just copycat.
I think
Butters is just a sensible boy.
Like Ted Bundy.
I wonder what position Ted Bundy shitted in. What was his preference, you reckon?
I think he was the toilet squatter.
Who?
Ted Bundy.
What was his style?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably in the bushes, I would guess.
Yeah, on a dead body.
Probably outside in the bushes.
Maybe that's why he killed so many people, because he couldn't.
It's when he got caught.
Toilet. He couldn't take a dump unless he was dumping on a corpse.
It's probably when he got caught, and he couldn't leave any witnesses. Like, no one can witness my
DNA
pooping in the bushes crime. What's that?
So much has been ruined by DNA testing. There would be no big serial killer if you poop on a corpse. They're gonna track you down real quick. Poop DNA.
Do we get DNA in our poop?
I guess. I guess somebody could DNA test your poop if you left it lying around. I don't know how much that costs, though.
I'm gonna have to be more careful with where I
it
leave
was
my
more
poop.
than regular one.
Yeah, because I don't think you could send in a poop sample to 23andMe. I don't know if they accept that. You're all like, hey,
I just got confused about ends.
all I got's is a turd. That's all I got. Come on, I want to find out the genealogy here. Come on, we got to find out. Is this a Western European dookie, or where's this from? South Africa? I want to know.
Neanderthal.
Is this Neanderthal? Yeah.
This poop has 4% Neanderthal genes in it.
Yeah. Was Cro-Magnon man involved in this crime? Is it Sasquatch? Was it Sasquatch? It could have been.
A good segue into Sassy the Sasquatch animated cartoon on the YouTubes. Get into it. Watch it. Part of the Big Red Show universe.
Do you have any Sasquatch in Australia?
They're called yowies.
Yowies?
Yeah. Or bunyips.
But you don't have bears. You don't have bears in Australia.
No.
They have koala bears.
No, they're not a bear.
They're not a bear, though.
It's politically incorrect to put bear on the end of their name nowadays. They've had a meeting. They've filled in some petitions, and they said it's not licit anymore. You can't call them koala bears. It's just koala.
It's just koala now.
I don't even understand where that comes from.
Mr. and Miss Koala Bear. I'm putting a little respect on the end.
No, I think they're still going to resent the fact that you're associating them with bears because they don't eat meat. They just
chlamydia and then bear.
Yeah, you're right.
That's self-inflicted, though.
Well, all they do is eat eucalyptus and get messed up on that stuff, and they're starting to find them eating other trees that also contain substances that get them a little bit messed up. So these koalas, I think they're entirely they're gregarious animals that just want to go out and get smashed and sleep the hangover away.
That's all they're up to. I mean, they're like dolphins in that way. You know, they're just eating and getting laid. That's pretty much it, and napping.
I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't
sleep
sound
like 22
bad.
hours a day.
They'd be out in Blacky's backyard screaming in the trees, mating. I didn't realize it until what does Josh go by? What does he go by?
Z-Beam.
Oh, the Z-Beam. Until Z-Beam was sending me he was sending me videos in the middle of the night of koalas mating in his backyard, and it's like it's a lot more intrusive than you would imagine. It's more eventful than you would think.
Very, very rapey animal.
Yeah.
They
very aggressive. Very aggressive.
They like to get smashed on their eucalyptus leaves and then go and have a fight in the street and then go and rape some female koala.
Pretty much like a drunken frat boy, pretty much is how they're operating.
Yeah.
I mean, they're understandably they're on a lot of hallucinogens, so you know, you can't really expect them to behave all that well, right?
I still think it's just so humorous that they're considered such a cute animal around the world, but they are actually one of the most brutal animals that we have in Australia.
They all are. I mean, look at sea otters. I mean, come on.
I don't have sea otters down here.
Little rapists.
Yeah, but are they cute?
Yes, they hold hands while they sleep. Probably.
Yeah, and they're pretty rapey too, though.
Turner,
are they?
Yeah. Victim thing. He's like, you're not going anywhere.
To the point that
makes me feel a little bit better that Australia doesn't have all of the rapey mammals.
I forget what it is. They here we go. The case against otters, necrophiliac, serial killing fur monsters of the sea. They rape baby seals and hold each other's pups hostage for food. Yeah, they're pretty they're brutal. They're one of my favorite animals in the whole world, but they're super brutal. I mean, I like taking pictures of them, but I don't want to hang out with them. Here's a sea otter attacking an alligator and winning.
Jesus. And they're not even getting drunk first.
There's here's a video of sea otters eating baby ducks. bunch of baby ducks are out there, and the otters are eating them. Yeah, they're brutal. They're bad guys.
Are you
But
sharing,
they're so cute.
You're not
I
sharing
mean,
this video?
they're super cute.
I thought you were going to put the video on screen of
I was
eating
going
baby
to,
duck.
but then I realized like we'll probably get booted from the internet or something. I mean, we
could
did
get
say rape
protest
like
first.
1,000 times already, so you're not getting any AdSense dollars off this one. What is going on over there? We're rotating.
I can't see.
Oh.
Fucking...
There's the little horse. It is a
Isn't
tiny
it?
horse.
Little horses can be like everyone I've ever met is mean.
They got that short. They got that short man complex.
Yeah, small horse syndrome. Yeah, he's quite friendly, probably because his paddock companion is a ex-race horse, and he gets a little bit bitey and feisty. So
Here's what's
That's
crazy. Like I post a
Put him
cool
in his
picture.
place.
I post a cool picture of a butterfly on the internet, and
Mhm.
it like gets no likes nowadays. I mean, what's the deal? You
I
know how
think
hard it
butterflies
is.
have had their
You know how
day.
hard it is to take a picture of a freaking giant butterfly. You know how hard monarchs don't land. They don't land. Okay, I'm fully convinced. They don't land. I hate them. I hate them so much, and it took me forever to get that picture. And then all I wanted was some free, all I just wanted people to go like, "Wow, that guy got a picture of a butterfly. That's rad. So
Is
cool."
it too much to ask for
Is
a
it too
little
much to ask?
praise?
Like,
Yes.
is it too much to ask for anybody to like give a rat's ass about my stupid butterfly picture? I mean, come on now.
Yeah, apparently it is.
3 days.
'cause nobody
3
likes
days
it.
in a row. 3 days in a row at my window up here, I've had to allow a monarch. I've had to open the window and allow a monarch to escape, and
To
it's
let
been
him out.
the same fucking monarch every single day because it's got some damage on its wings and it's very noticeable.
Right.
Like, didn't you
Got some
learn?
brain
Not maybe.
damage, too.
Maybe because I keep letting him out, I'm not allowing him that opportunity to learn. Just, I suppose it is a very human thing to learn from our mistakes. Butterflies, maybe not so. G'day, Ty Hunsicker. Oh, bloody...
Oh man, I haven't seen Ty in a long time.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I
How you
saw
doing?
a post of Ty's on
How
Facebook
you
in the
doing?
last couple of days, and I was going to ask him a question about it, and now I've forgotten what it was.
Was it about a butterfly? Was it a picture of a butterfly?
Probably not. Not
No.
really a field of
Doesn't-
interest of mine.
Doesn't make my radar then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I overthink it, I'll never think of it, and I'll just drive myself nuts.
You gotta stop.
You know how it
thinking
is.
of it, and then you'll remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when they say it's on the tip of your tongue, take it off the tip of your tongue and pop it in your ear, and you'll remember it.
Oh,
Never
Shanna, I was going to ask you. How do you say Oregon?
Oregon.
Okay, cool.
Is there conjecture over this?
No, people that are not from the West Coast, they'll say Oregon, and you're like, I don't know what's happening. Like when they say Spokane, they say Spokane or
Mhm.
forget what do they say? They say Spokane wrong.
Or
I say
Spokane.
Spokane, but I don't know. I'm a foreigner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say Oregon. Is that right? Or am I
No, wrong.
emphasizing the E too much?
Yeah, too much. There's too much O in there. In the middle. Yeah.
It's more like saying Oregon, like your heart is an organ.
Yeah.
Righto. I'll remember that for future.
Dan Rather actually did a whole thing about how everybody on the West Coast says it wrong because he was a journalism student. Dan Rather, back in the day, he explained.
Is Dan Rather dead? I'm gonna
Maybe.
check.
I'm going to guess no, and I don't even know the man. I may have
Sweet
seen
baby
him.
Jesus, he's still alive.
What's his vintage?
90.
It's doing good for a man in the
Hey,
career.
by the way,
head.
we talked about this earlier. People with communications degrees are just memes. They're just memeing. That's all they're doing. So we can't take them seriously. Okay.
Okay.
We can't take them seriously. And if Dan Rather says that everybody over here is saying it wrong, then move over here and live here for 90 more years and then tell me how you say it. And then go throw yourself in the ocean and
At
wait for the
180.
otters. Wait for the otters to take you because they will.
My name isn't super complicated, and most of the time if somebody says it wrong, I'm just like, oh, it's Shanna, and they're like, oh, okay. I've actually had 2 different people who argued with me about how I say my name. They read it.
Oh,
And I'm like,
What were their pronunciations that they were adamant about?
Shauna and Shayna.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think Shayna, you either need only one N or a Y in there. And Shauna, you definitely need a U in there.
Or a W. You do it with a
Oh, yeah.
W.
Yeah, that's probably even cuter than
But
a U.
my
'cause it's a
favorite
double
point to
U.
all of it is that it's my fucking name. Like,
Well, surely your first response is,
Cocaine.
"Oh, you're absolutely right. I'm 30 years old and I've got no idea how to say my name after all of these years."
Yeah. Thanks for the big help, Chief.
Humans are awesome, aren't they?
I don't know. The one that gets me, and by the way, this has been an ongoing joke forever because I've been posting online how many times the Starbucks people screw up my name. It's 4 letters long.
it's
And
not
I have
a weird
I have
name.
I have an endless sea of Starbucks pictures posted online of the Starbucks people effing up my name, just royally otter style effing up my name. And you know, so today there was a gal who works at the Starbucks I stopped by, and she's like, "Oh my God, look, they put Joe on your cup. This is ridiculous." And she picked it up and wrote an L on there, and was like, she's like, "I can't stand for this." And I was like, "I don't know what is happening right now, but you get me." I was like, "You get you worker here." I don't even know her. I don't even know her name, but she's like, "You." I was like, "You get me. I understand."
Maybe they've seen your posts and whatnot, and now they're just providing you with solid tent to keep using.
It could probably not, but the thing was, I mentioned today, I was like, it's not like I have a new name that's weird or something. Like my stupid name is in the freaking Bible. Like, come on, it's at least been around for probably not 2,000 years, like 600 years or something since they, air
Since
quote
the rewrite.
translated it from whenever. But there's a book of Joel in there, and everybody thinks my name is Whole, right? Like that's not, like what? It's not Whole. Yeah.
G'day, Jeremy. Jeremy,
but,
first time in.
It's,
I don't
it's
recognize
become pointless
that
to even like bother trying to ever tell anybody anything. But yeah, it's more like bowel. Yeah, that's a good point from GRB. Good point. But
my whole point here, though, is that everybody went to school. Everybody in America who went to school with at least one Joel. We all did. And like from the time we were very young, we saw Joel's name spelled.
Right.
Like we all know a Joel. Everybody. So
it's
how
not like
could they
three in my year at school.
Mess it up.
Right. I mean, it's not like my first name is Hunsicker, right? And people would be like,
really cool.
How do I spell that? I don't know what's happening here. Like, what's
But then, if you said it's spelt phonetically to these people who are obviously spelling challenged, they probably don't even know what that word means.
Yeah, they just their eyes start spinning around and they pass out. Oh, what have you said to me?
And you get a cuppy cough with 4 X's on it because that's the only letter they know how to use.
But yeah, it's it's just one of those goofy things. So it brings back to mind. So you guys know that I hate Jordan Peterson. I think he's a psychotic Nazi. But you know, it brings back the you know, helping with research some of his old stuff that he was talking about. But one of the things they used to talk about was the sort of eugenics side of IQ testing, right? And one of the things that he was doing is he was making up studies that don't actually exist, and he was talking about people that are like under 83 IQ, right? And he was talking about that, and it boiled down to, he was like, there's just so many people that are below 83 IQ. Like, what do we do with these people? You know, and you're like, what do you mean? What do we do with these people? Like, give them a job at Starbucks, man. Like, there.
That's clearly what's happening
Like,
already.
You don't
Well,
even need to know how
clearly-
to spell to work there. You know, you basically hear some words, you push some buttons. It's all good, baby. You just work hard, and you'll be fine. But you know, it's so. And I know like tons of super smart people that work at Starbucks too. So you can just blend them together. You get an average IQ or intelligence rating out of them, and everything works fine. That's how it goes. So, yeah. I mean, the world is just like that. We all just blend together and try to figure out how to spell 4-letter words. And we'll get there one way or another.
It's the buddy system. You team up a stupid person with a smart person and hope a little bit rubs off. Oh, I thought that'd get more laughs than it did.
Oh, sorry. I just remembered what the compound that makes your pee smell like coffee. It's phenols,
That's what
which
you
is
said
spelled
originally.
phonetically. PHENOLS. It's the phenols. That's the aroma thing. If you drink too much coffee and your pee smells like coffee, it's the phenols that are in there that you're smelling. Coffee,
Yeah,
tea,
okay.
and wine contain the highest concentrations of phenolic compounds, that's the thing I couldn't remember, but now I remembered it now.
The guesses in the chat were diuresis, but diuresis, sorry. When you were asking what the word was before, people were saying diuresis. But yeah, obviously they were thinking different things than what you were thinking.
Jeremy says, until the sub 80s IQ decides they're Jordan Peterson, the cycle begins all over.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask what smart person is dumb enough to pair up with that little jackwagon.
His wife and his daughter.
Okay, the kid didn't have a choice. She didn't pick that.
She has a choice. There is a
Wait,
choice.
how old is she?
She's like 29 or something. How old is?
Oh yeah, done with her. No. I thought she was like 2. I'm like, that's not fair. I mean,
How old is she? She's insane. She's 30 years old, and she is. You should look her up. She's an influencer,
No.
and she is absolutely insane. She claims all she eats is meat. She's on an all meat diet, supposedly.
Well, good.
But it's apparently she eats a whole bunch of meat and a ton of liquor also. So because she's constantly drinking all the time. So you're like, how could you be on an all meat diet if you're taking in tons of carbohydrates via alcohol? Like, what are you talking about? You know, yeah, it's insane.
That sounds like Dead by 40 to me.
What's that? Oh, no, she's a disaster. She's an influencer. She's about as important as Kim Kardashian, pretty much, which means not very.
Nope. See, I've gotten like super selective about stuff. There's so much stuff that I guess also super judgy, because a lot of stuff just I hear about it the first time. I'm like, nope, not putting any energy into that. Like I have.
Well, I think
to obsess over.
So one of the things, like, so like the nature that I am is like I like to know of what pseudo intellectuals or the people that present themselves as intellectuals are influencing our society, right?
Are they intellectuals?
Well, they're touted that way. Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, all these idiots, you know.
That's
Basically,
so sad,
anybody
Joel.
with like a wacky doctorate shows up on Joe Rogan. All of a sudden, like it's all deep in the zeitgeist, and all of a sudden you see all these pyramid schemes and MLMs coming out of every corner of the internet to try and get money from
Joel,
people.
you
So
mean
like
I can't
this
get
stuff,
rich with a hustle attitude?
right? Yeah, you got a Gary V, man. You just got to go to some garage sales. You also got to have a dad who owns a big wine distributing company, and that and then you just go to some garage sales, and then next thing you know, you're gonna be Gary V, baby. You're gonna be rich, dude. You gotta hustle. You just gotta hustle. You gotta wake up. You gotta never go to sleep. You gotta wake up and then never go to sleep ever again. And then when you're hustle, you better grind. And if you take a shit for 5 minutes, that's 5 minutes that somebody else is going to be getting past you, and they're going to be grinding even harder than you were. So you better shit in your pants while grinding, go into a garage sale, and you got to get on it right now. And you're going to have a Lamborghini before the time you're 48. Oh my God, it's going to be crazy because my dad owns a wine distributing company and he gave me like $100 million. And you're like, excuse me, hold on. There would seem to be a point in there. What's the thing with your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say $100 million head start?
Yeah, I forget how much. I think it was 30 million.
Yeah.
Gary V. Dad's wine company. So, like, my thing is that, yeah, Empathy Wines was his dad. And he did those monthly wine club. His dad was the first guy to do the like in the mail monthly wine club thing.
Yeah, that was
$70 a month to sign up for the wine club. And I forget how much it was, but at the very least, like his dad gave him control of that company, which I think was worth between 3 and 60 million. Which obviously 60 million is the reality of what it was. Yeah, so it's one of those really weird things, but like so the people that are like influencing our society, it's important to me. Like I understand that there's a lot of people out there that are like, dude, I don't have time for this nonsense. But the big issue that I have with it is that like I run into people that they're actively making decisions in their lives from the crap that they hear from these people. And
like that. I just do that with you. I listen to your show and I'm all right, all about it. Hold on, he's gonna break it down for me. Yeah, it sounds legit. If I have to vote about it, I'll look into this further.
Well, it's like even right now, so like
humanity.
Yeah, so it's like one of the things that I've noticed is that so one of the things that I've noticed with people between the ages of 30 and 50 right now in the United States are sort of like disenchanted to the point where they're like, whatever I do, it doesn't matter. Nothing really matters. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, did you vote? And they were like, no. And you're like
you
just
have to vote.
Just go vote. Like, look, I'm not telling people to stop eating avocado toast because it's just idiotically stupid. If you want to go get a coffee, go buy a coffee. It's all good. Like, save a little bit of money, sure. But like, I'm not trying to like recreate somebody's life. But when it comes down to just like something as simple as voting, it's like, just go vote. So at the very least, your thing was thrown into the hat and you know that we're not going to completely go spiraling down the drain. Without you have at least been like, well, I tried a thing, like I try to get my little number in there, and you see it with like the local elections too. So like the people that really affect your life, like your city council, the sheriff, your district representative and stuff like that. I was in a district of like, I think like 280,000 people or whatever, and like only 60,000 people even voted for the representative. And you're like, your one vote could have actually swayed that election, so it's like, I don't, people don't even vote for their like local crap, which is what really does affect you. It's like, do you want the pothole fixed? Do you want the school to buy some new books? Like, like that kind of crap.
Well, and
G'day, Mr. Gromby. Welcome in.
in
First
Oregon,
timer.
you get the whole voters pamphlet mailed to you like a
Right.
month and a half ahead of time. And then a month ahead of time, you get your ballot mailed to you. And there's boxes all over the place. If you get it done early enough, put a stamp on it, send it in. Like, you can not only vote, but you can take an entire day for each issue on the ballot, researching and vote and have it in time.
Right. Yeah. So Washington and Oregon are super unique in that that's how we vote. You know, like I think isn't that how you do it in Australia?
Mail-in votes.
Yeah.
It's an option, but they used to get you to have a reasonable excuse as to why you had to do a postal vote, why you couldn't attend a ballot location on the day. But I think they're a lot more lax on it nowadays because they want to make sure that people get their votes in. So you can do a postal vote now with the lamest of excuses and still get away with it.
Yeah, you could just write like my butt hurts. Leave me alone. I don't want to walk there.
And just write
I'm-
MEH period.
Meh.
I voted.
I don't want to see people. I don't want to be
Yeah.
around people.
I'm going to have a sore knee on election day. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
Got a
for
headache
sure.
coming.
It's like when you've got one of those migraines coming on and you start seeing all the floaters in your vision. It's like, a week and a half in advance, get that in the post.
Mm.
Yeah, I see those floaters. It's people in my field of vision with heads just existing. I'm like,
Mickham raises an interesting point. If you vote, you'll have to stand responsible for the ones leading us so poorly. It's easier not to vote and then keep on complaining.
no, I
Not
vote
sure.
and complain.
I'm not
'Cause
sure if that's
don't,
most
then you
people's
don't
motivation.
complain because you didn't
Yeah.
say anything when you had your chance. So if you want to complain, you have to vote. I didn't make the rules. I'm just here to let you know.
Right. So yeah, like Oregon was the first state to do all votes by mail. But there's still only 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 states that do all by all mail. Like California is brand new. Washington was the second state after Oregon. Vermont is new to it. Nevada is new to it. And California. So California, Nevada, Vermont. Is that right? Yeah. All adopted it this year. So moving forward, they'll all be by mail. And then
As
Hawaii,
do you mean-
Colorado. And
Do you mean that's the only way you can vote, or it's just another option, so you can still go?
It's all by mail.
So there's no polling booths and shit set up.
You can if you're somebody that has to vote in person, you still can. There are a few locations.
I absolutely do not like the idea of the polling booths where you get assaulted by all the representatives of the political parties handing you all these pieces of paper and.
Well, that's against the law.
Shit.
It's against the law to lobby at a voting place in the United States.
So they can't hand you pieces of paper saying this is how, if you like our party, this is how you should vote. Yeah, I wish they'd outlaw.
They have to do that. They have to do that when you're at the mall or whatever. You know, you can't do it at
on election day.
At an actual voting place. Which, by the way, actually, some states enacted this year that you can't even like give water and stuff to people while they're waiting in line.
Trying to pull favor.
Yeah, which is nuts because like then make the line go faster, right? Like stop enacting this law, make the line go faster so people aren't like so thirsty that they're accepting water from strangers, you know. Like how about just make the line go faster? How about do that, you know? So but yeah, there's only 8 states in the United States that do it all by mail, and like I said, 3 of them are brand new to it. So, you know, there's the 42 other states that are making it all sorts of crazy for everybody.
Well, and I don't know about in the rest of the world because I'm not as smart as some of y'all, but like here in the United States, there's a whole bunch of stuff that the powers that be do to disenfranchise and make it difficult for people to
Mhm.
vote, like actively making laws. And I feel like keeping people from being able to get water when standing in line to vote somewhere when they could just be voting from the comfort of their own home.
Right. Well, it's like in Australia, you're compelled to vote. You have to vote in Australia. Like
You do. It is compulsory.
it's compulsory.
G'day, PNW
So like,
Aqua.
Australia is a good example of like you have to vote. You have to. It's not like I'm eating a sandwich, didn't have time. Like
About 6 weeks before your 18th birthday in this country, you will receive a letter from the Australian Electoral Commission with your enrolling to vote forms. So you have to enroll to vote before you're 18. It's a decent system to ensure that people's voice is heard. And if you don't vote and you get found out, you do get a fine, a cash fine.
right. Oh
Which
yeah.
I think
So
last
BJ
time I got one was $150, but I imagine it was a bit more than that nowadays.
Yeah.
People
So
have
BJ
got more
mentioned.
money than 150.
So BJ mentioned in the chat here, he says you can pass out stuff at the polling place in Virginia, but you must be 20 feet from the door and it's marked by tape. So you have to be like outside the perimeter. So yes, technically, but like in Washington State, I never experienced a long ass line where you were like out there going like, what's happening? What is this? And so. I've never personally experienced the seeing pictures of people in it, like Georgia, that there's like a line 10 blocks down the road and it's like the only place to vote and people are standing out there for 9 hours to go vote because they're tired of they're tired of the low turnout and they're trying to get some people in there that can actually fix some crap. And so they got to stand outside in like 100-degree weather for 9 hours to try and just vote, but no one can give you water now. So apparently people are just going to get heat exhaustion out there or whatever now. So who knows?
I've only ever voted by mail.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know it was an option to vote in person.
I have voted in person before. Poking the little holes in the thing. Put it in there.
Did you have any hanging chads?
Yeah. Yeah. I have hanging chads all the time. I'm covered in them. I'm smothered in them.
What does that even mean?
That's how Al Gore. That's how Al Gore lost the election.
Presidential election was decided by hanging chads. That's the little piece of paper that you poke out of the hole. Well, if it didn't poke completely out, they didn't count it as a vote, and it swung the election from one way to another.
How bizarre! We just have to like put an X with a pen. Can I address a thing that Mr. Gromby said about?
So here's what's weird.
Hang on.
What?
Mr. Gromby did not expect to jump into a political topic on a fish fam link, but I am all for this. Mr. Gromby, when I started this live stream, there was a bajillion other fish tank channels doing all the fish talk and stuff. So one of the objectives of this stream was to have a fish fam stream that didn't necessarily talk about fish and stuff. So quite often you'll turn up here and we'll go through a 2.5 hour stream and not even talk about fish once. We will today because I do have a subject to get to. But just so you know, Mr. Gromby, back to Joel in the studio.
Joel.
So you're talking about the hanging chad, right? And
yes,
that's one of the things that decided the Bush versus Gore election in the year 2000, which should be even more unsettling because we go, wow, at least we got past that, right? At least we got past.
Do they supply you with the whole punch?
At least we got past that whole situation, right? But then you realize that two
Supreme
of our
Court?
Supreme Court justices, Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett, were two of the justices that oversaw the hanging Chad fiasco with Bush versus Gore. Those two creeps were involved in that, and they're on the Supreme Court now and overturned Roe versus Wade.
Well, and think about who W put on the Supreme Court.
Who did he put on? What did he put on? Breyer and no, because Thomas was already there. Who did?
Was it the guy with the black hair, kind of chunky, Scalia?
Oh,
I
he
don't
might
know.
have been. I thought Scalia was already there.
G'day, misfit reptiles and aquatics.
It was
I'm gonna
my
go and
very
wrestle a
first
crocodile
election
and
that I
chop
could
up.
vote, like presidential election, because I was born in '81, so I was all cued in to.
Alito, yeah, he was Alito, and Sam Roberts was his other guy, or John Roberts, not Sam Roberts, John Roberts, Sam Alito and John Roberts. Alito was a nutbag. John Roberts is just kind of like a super middle of the road dude, which I'm
I'll
agreeable
take it
to.
at this
Like,
point.
what? Yeah, I mean, John Roberts is a reasonable guy. Like, I think he's just sort of a scholarly type dude, and is like, can I get swayed by this or swayed by that? Like, let's hear everything out. He just seems like a real moderate kind of dude to me, and that I think there should just be 9 people like that, that are just
not one way or the other, but like.
But 40 years ago, they decided to set up the Federalist Foundation to basically breed judges in a test tube and have them all go to the same high school and have them all come up through the same system and coach them on all this weird, crazy stuff. And here we are 40 years later, and 3 of them are on the Supreme Court. And it's unsettling at best.
Was that?
It's
was
hard
that a
not to
situation
be
that was corruption?
disenfranchised. The last 20 years have been pretty intense.
It's been intense. It's getting weirder. It's getting weirder, and
it wasn't mellow before that either, for the record. Like the 80s and 90s were the wild, wild west.
Yep.
Like some of our legislation and the laws and the models for laws that were passed during that time frame have done irreparable damage.
Oh no, it's not irreparable. It could be repaired. It could be fixed. We do have the systems in place to fix them, but we unfortunately don't have like the political motivation to pass them. I mean, Joe Biden passed the biggest infrastructure bill that's ever passed ever, and people just ignore it, right? And by the time all that stuff gets going, a couple years from now, whoever's in office is going to take credit for it. It's like, hey, you see all those freeways getting fixed, and you're going to be like, what? And it's one of the big issues that I had with, whether you like Trump or not, regardless of that, they were taking credit for stuff that they didn't even do. They were talking to, like, a perfect example would be like Veterans Choice. I constantly kept hearing Veterans Choice. I did that. And it's like, here's a picture of Obama signing the bill for Veterans Choice. What are you talking about? Like, what? This wasn't 50 years ago or something. Like, we forgot. Like, we have. Here it is. Like, it's right here online. It's what. And I feel like I end up taking crazy pills. But the renewable energy bill that just passed, like Mr. Gromby is saying, I'm all in favor for that. I live in Washington State, where we've reaped the benefit of a gigantic, tax-funded project for the Columbia River. The Columbia River has something like 22 dams on it that were all built and developed and irrigated with taxpayer money. But because it happened in the 30s, everyone just acts like it must have been some company that came in with like independent invested money, and they just started building dams and started irrigating everything and doing all this stuff and and it's like, no,
you need to be on you. You
What's
need a
that?
bit on your live streams that is 1930s guy talking.
I gotta.
Pick a modern issue and then get 1930s guy because that was a
I actually,
fantastic
I,
voice.
I actually have the 1930s character guy that I've been working on some other channel stuff I've been doing, but I've been starting to incorporate that into videos I've been making for my main channel so I can put them on there. I think I
He's
pissed off
coming
a lot
along
of people
nicely.
yesterday because I was like, the next video that's coming out on my channel is about hiking, and they're like, but it's not about fish. Oh! And they're like, people are flipping their tables over, like losing their
Well,
minds,
that's why I felt I had to
Oh, this
give
son of
the
a bitch! I came here for a fish. Oh,
yeah.
it's just like
That's exactly why I felt I had to give Mr. Gromby the explanation because people can turn up to a supposed fish tank channel and they want
Well,
to
that's
talk
the
about
thing. Like,
fish, and we rarely
I
talk
hope you guys
about
know, like, I love fish tanks. I love fish. I love plants. I worked all day today building a fish store that you guys will be able to visit someday. You know, like, I love fish. I love fish tanks, but I also love other stuff. Like, I,
There's plenty of
like,
other stuff to love.
I love mountain climbing. I love mountaineering. I love it to death. It's something that is a very important part of my existence on this planet. Is like, fuck this mountain. I am going up there. That thing, there's like a glacier up there. I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna Winnie the Pooh, take my pants off and pee on it. You know, like, it's what's up now. You know, and people would be
Yep.
like, you're gonna travel 12,000 feet up so you could pee on a glacier. I'm like, yeah, that's what's happening. I'm gonna do it.
You might have to go up with a little bit of lumber and a coat hook, so you've got a hook up there to hang your
It's
trousers
true.
on.
It's a good point. There's no trees up there. You go past the tree line, it's creepy. It's
You've got
creepy
to be
town.
prepared.
When you go past the tree line, you're like, something weird's going on up here. Like, oh crap, I'm up. I'm way up. There's not even any firewood. Like,
Okay,
Now,
not only would I not climb up a mountain, but I definitely wouldn't go up there and risk getting frostbite on my pee-pee to spite the mountain that somehow hadn't killed me yet when there's the whole way back down.
oh, I don't go up in the winter anymore.
Okay.
I mean, there's lowland hiking that I do in the wintertime. It's too hard on me to go like ice climbing and stuff like that now. I'm too old for that. I got a baby daughter here.
and
I don't know where she is.
He lost half the tip a few years ago when he last tried it in winter.
Yeah.
It was just the tip. It's fine.
Just the tip. It's just the tip. It's nature's circumcision, you know?
Kiwi Mamo has a fish question. Get out of town. How do you stop cribs from eating plants? Simple answer, you don't.
Yeah, it's really...
Get icky tasting plants.
If you really end up with a pair of cribs that are going to eat plants, here's how you stop them from eating plants. You take the pair, you breed the pair. Once they have a bunch of babies, you take that pair out and you put them in a tank that doesn't have any plants, and you let the babies grow up in the tank. And then you find the ones that don't eat plants and you keep those, and you take the rest and you take them to your local fish club and you sell them at auction for way less than it cost you to raise them. But that's how you do it.
I believe it's selective breeding.
That's right. You're
Louis
breeding.
Pasteur
You're
or someone
selectively breeding
created
for
the
genetic
idea.
traits. Darwin wrote a book about it. If you want to go read it, but you don't have to read it. But I recommend it. It's good reading. It's very dry, but it's good.
Now,
Have either of you been to the Galapagos? That's a question.
negative.
No.
They belong to Ecuador.
Yeah.
I think I've
Is
been
that right?
banned from Ecuador.
Don't
Yeah.
they? Oh yeah.
I want to be banned from a country.
I'm banned from. Last time I checked, I was banned from Canada.
Oh, Canada won't let me in, but I don't think that's the same as being banned.
That's the same. When
It's
a
close
country
enough.
doesn't let you onto their soil, that's a ban.
That counts?
That counts. That's what would happen to Ecuador
You've given me
if
so
Blacky
much.
flew to Ecuador, they'd be like, "You, sir, are not allowed to stand around on our dirt. You have to take the next available flight back to wherever you came from."
Ooh.
Sorry, Mr. Gromby. I have a little bit of a personal rule about letting people up on the stream the first time they're in. So yeah, not today, but definitely in the future we can consider it, mate. Nothing personal. It's just my own rule because of some things that have happened in the past. Not necessarily to me, but to other people on stream.
Sometimes people accidentally get banned because maybe not even on purpose. Maybe not even on purpose. I did hear of a YouTuber the other day who was working out in a t-shirt and got his own channel banned because of nudity.
Really?
It's like too sweaty. The niplasia was deep, apparently. Wet t-shirt contest style, you know.
Oh, was it a lady in a gym?
It was an automated ban. Like the YouTube like automatically detected like a nude person. Like they had to try to appeal it, you know, and eventually it was like, oh wait, never mind, it's just a workout stream. Don't worry about it. Needless to say, workout streams are dangerous, guys. A lot of grunting and groaning and clanging around and sweating. Whoa, hey.
And skin.
You might get kicked
loads
off.
of skin. Sweaty skin. Whoa.
I once listened to a stream where the gentleman doing the stream was plumbing. But if you weren't there for the beginning to know that he was plumbing and just listen to what he said and the grunting,
It's a little rough. It's a little rough, yeah.
it was glorious. I was
Even
like, can I record this? It's amazing.
The visuals that I've got are splendid enough.
Should screen record that for sure.
Right? This is too good.
Now, while we're on the subject of fish, Shanna, a little bird,
Yes.
has told me that you've got a new love in your life.
I'm in love with the killie. I'm so obsessed with my killifish. Okay, so first of all, the triple crown happened. Yeah. That's great for everybody. But while everybody was at the triple crown, I was sitting for Danny and Kenny and all 89 of their fish tanks and their amazing dog Sheba.
Their house is wild.
Dude, it takes so long to turn the lights off and on and to feed everything. I'm like, ooh, they're so cool. And just getting to stay there and hang out with the fish and the dog, all of that, I was done. I would rather have gotten to stay there and house sit than go to the Triple Crown. It's like more my jam. And they brought me back 2 killifish with it has all of the information to them down to the person who collected them and like their number, like their collection number or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so pretty. Holy cow.
They are super dedicated. They are super dedicated. I've been to their house once. Really nice. I actually still have a couple of interviews from them that I should put out. I don't know. I think I put some of them in little snippets in some videos, but I should. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good reminder.
They're amazing, and like if you ever get a chance to be hosted by them in any capacity, just go ahead and get like a thank you gift because you're gonna be just like, oh my gosh. They're amazing. They're amazing. Fishtoberfest is coming. Oh my gosh.
When's the next meeting down there? Do you go to the Willamette Valley one or do you go to the Portland one?
Portland one. It's on Sunday.
I haven't been invited. They stopped inviting me.
I'll invite you. You're totally
stopped inviting me.
Just don't bid on anything I'm bidding on at the auction. Okay.
I never buy anything at the auction.
Shake you upside down for what's in your pockets. I'll be like, give me those stem plants.
I never bid on anything at the auctions. I normally bring stuff down to donate or whatever. I don't have anything right now, but I don't bid on anything at the auctions because regardless of my financial situation, like it doesn't matter what my financial situation is. If I go to somebody's auction and I bid on something that somebody else wanted, you will immediately get a crazy internet backlash from, somebody will post it up on Reddit, and then the next thing you know, it's like 100 people that weren't even there are super mad at you for having bought something. And it's happened. I've seen it happen to other people. I'm like, I'm not gonna fall for that. I'm not doing that one. Okay.
Oh, I am awful at the auctions because I started out fish keeping with saltwater fish. So anytime it's under like $100 a pair, I'm like,
Right.
it's a deal. I'm down. I want it.
Yeah.
And then I get like tunnel vision and violently competitive. I can't be trusted. And the worst part is, even if I leave like my wallet at home, my cash at home, my phone at home, Kenny's still there. And if I want something, he'll totally buy it and just
Right.
let me pay him back whenever.
Slip you a Hyundai under the table. G'day, Stephen P. Double M Triple I.
Oh my God, Stephen P's here. Better write us a song about it. There better be a rap coming out soon. Oh, I bet Stephen P probably has some new songs out, and I just haven't listened to them.
Have you heard the new snail song?
The new what?
Snail song.
The snail song?
Yeah, it's a new song by Stephen P. It's like a whole flippin' music video with like people and then layers of people and then background stuff behind that. Like it's a wholly produced music video with multiple singers like together.
I haven't seen it.
It's not even amateur hour at all. None of his stuff ever was, but this ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to have to check that out. Mr. Grumby, you'll have to find me on Facebook. We'll talk about stuff in Facebook if you like. Called me a diva.
Are you a diva?
Maybe once
it's
you.
called I'm a Snail, and it's on Mystery Snail Guardians channel. So if you were looking on Stephen P's channel, that's why you didn't see it.
There we go.
It's not even on here. You're telling me I have to go to a different YouTube channel?
Yep.
Huawei's
Mystery
popped the link in the
Snail
chat.
Guardian.
Oh, Huawei's got it.
Huawei's all over that stuff.
Oops, I can't play it. It's playing it on my live. It's playing it on my chat window. I don't understand how that even works now. Dude, if you click a link, I don't know if this is the way for you guys, but if you click a link in the chat, it plays in my chat window now. I don't know. I don't know when that started happening.
From StreamYard or from the YouTubes.
It starts playing from YouTube in the chat window, the pop-out chat window. I don't know if it's like a new feature or something, but I've accidentally done that a few times. It's like it's playing in the chat window. I don't know.
Dude, earlier today, all of a sudden my phone wouldn't quit playing music. I like went through and closed all the windows. Where's this music coming from? And then with all of the windows closed, it's still singing at me. I had to turn it off and back on again. It's a good song.
Oh, the I Am a Snail official video. Is that playing through the player? Can you hear that?
Can't hear it. Mine opened up in a new tab. It didn't open up in the chat.
Mine opens up in the chat. I don't.
I've got it paused, Stephen P, waiting to watch after this show. Just Michael Black on Facebook, Mr. Grumby. You'll probably find that if you're prolific within the fish fam, that I'll be the Michael Black with multiple friends in common, or what do they call it? Mutual friends.
Oh, mutual friends. Don't find me on Facebook. I'm always antagonizing the boomers on there.
I can't go on Facebook. It's like my own personal Canada. I've banned myself. That's it.
I love going on there and riling up the old timers.
I get too riled up. I take my own bait. I can't be trusted. I'm like outraged and then I'm talking about it and I'm like, no, I just delete everything I type out and have a pit in my stomach.
I just love antagonizing the boomers. It's my favorite thing. They get so mad.
No, Huawei, I think you got the right video because the one that I've got open says it's on Mystery Snail Guardians channel. So I think you done good, son. Yeah, you'll still find me. Michael Black, easily spelt, easily found. I don't hide on the Facebook. And like Shanna said, I primarily just have Facebook so I can access Facebook Messenger, which seems to be everyone's messaging choice these days. Although
That
Instagram
or
is becoming quite
Snapchat.
popular.
And I don't do Snapchat either.
I don't do Snapchat. There's too much hinky business on there.
I know. If I'm
Snapchat's
doing
occasionally
Snapchat,
fun
I
just to
want
use the
mysterious
filters.
piles of money from strangers or something worthwhile.
There's
None
too
of
many.
that
There's too many
happens
people Winnie the Poohing on Snapchat. It's like going on Omegle. You could go onto Omegle there for about 5 minutes, and you're like, done enough meat gazing for at least the next month.
That's what I like to call a sausage fest.
Is Omegle, I'm assuming, is something similar where they can actually share adult content?
I don't
I'm
know
not
if they're
familiar.
supposed to, but that's what's going on there.
Yeah, right. I'm completely unfamiliar with this Omegle. It's just another Instagram or something, is it?
It's it basically like aggregates you to you pop into chat rooms with people you don't know.
Getting to know everybody.
Yeah. Intimately.
That sounds terrible.
But Snapchat was just like it was just such a cluster because people thought like, oh wow, whatever I posted on here is now it's gone. It'll just disappear. And it's like, wow, you've been tricked by a corporation into posting some of the most insane crap you could possibly come up with, and now it lives on the internet forever. Yeah. Yeah, Stephen P. Is Omegle like chat roulette? Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's like chat Russian roulette.
It's like chat roulette. Chat roulette. Yeah.
I was always very disappointed with chat roulette because everyone always said you go on chat roulette for 10 minutes and you're going to see 10 penises. And I never saw a single penis on chat roulette. Very disappointed.
Not even one. They must have been blocked in Australia.
No, I just only did it once. No dicks, not going back there.
Just like, yeah, well, I was looking for a specific interaction and didn't get it. So I never returned again.
I'm just confused as to who it is that wants this festival of penis. Because as a woman, I know, speaking for myself, I don't want it. And my confusion as to the desire for this product. And none of my girlfriends, turns out, are like down to attend the festival of penis. So who is showing up for it?
Yeah,
Is it
probably
just other
just
guys seeing other guys? Like, I don't think there's that many girls that are.
It's just dudes.
I think most dudes have a real adoration of the penis because they're so attached to their own.
I know an easy way to relate this to a woman. So, do you know that desire that you have to not be confronted by a man wanting to have sex with you?
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite for men. It's that level of desire to try and have sex.
You always want somebody to be like, hey,
yeah,
will you have sex with me?
Yes. You could be like,
what about
stage 4 cancer?
You
could be like in the doctor's office. You could be like in the doctor's office while the doctor's explaining to you that you have stage 4 brain cancer and butt cancer and whatever, and you're gonna die. And somebody could walk in and be like, "You want to have some sex right now?" And they'd be like, "Yep,
righto."
You know, I mean, it's a gross generalization or whatever, but that's the reality. It's just basically what it is. I mean, the human biology is just that's that's our biology. It's like that's the drive to maintain your gene pool.
Thanks,
You know.
GRB.
In
I
action.
feel like men, in general, not all of them, not all the time, not for everybody, but just generally speaking, men walk life like with their hips thrust forward and their penis solidly leading the way, whereas women walk through life with like one hand over our boobs, one hand over our crotch, like kind of like, okay, no,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get stuff done. Leave me be.
like, let me do the dishes, please.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's how that works. I mean, if I think like the easiest group to look to is like the bonobo apes or whatever. They're like our closest relatives. That's all they do. That's all they do is like either have sex or try to stop someone from having sex with them. That's it. That's all they're up to. Is like, oh, is there food? Yeah, the food's right over here. Like we don't have to really find the food. We just eat food when we're hungry. That's cool and blah blah blah. But they just basically spend all their time like that's all they're doing. That's it. You know. So, but it's not really an excuse for anybody's behavior. Yeah, I hope just to make that clear. Like
Yeah.
I've always like probably 20 years ago, I was in a I don't know what you call it, like a Statesman of America thing, and there was a big debate ongoing about like men and women like trying to figure out how to relate to each other and whatnot. And I think like the easiest way to explain it, other than how I just did, was like men have no idea what menstruating is like at all. Like we just have no idea. And I recall like one guy was like, well, women should just get used to it. Like it's going to happen your whole life. It just keeps happening every month. You should just get used to it. You should figure out how to deal with it. Right.
Right? Wouldn't that be sick?
I remember I stood up right after that guy and I was like, if women should get used to their menstruation, you should get used to your sex drive and stop trying to dry hump everything in the room, you know? And it's like, you know, and it's like, you know, people are like, oh, you know, but it's like, yeah, that's the truth. It's like, yes, we all have like this weird innate, like natural biology that we have to deal with. And, you know, the idea is that we are in the 21st century and that men should be figuring out how to deal with stuff. But unfortunately, you know, in the Americas, at the very least, I can say, we have this weird like Protestant like influence on how the Americas have shaped themselves to the point where it's like they're trying to get rid of sex education in schools, right? And you're like, what? Why? Like these humans need to learn what it is that they're encountering and how to deal with it, you know? And it's like, but the Catholics say masturbation is a sin, you know, you're going to hell. And it's like, hey man,
could be.
that might be the case, but like, can we just, you know, like what? Like, look, the weird book that you're referencing is like, it's not, no, we can't use that as our guide of like how to get through the day, you know? But you know, but here we are. We're supposed to be like higher learned beings at this point, but we'll see.
Remember, some of us' IQs are below 80. G'day, Scotty.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are we supposed to do with the low IQ, high sex drive people? Right?
That wasn't. I just realized now that it sounds like I'm accusing Scotty of having an IQ of lower than 80, but I know he's a much more intelligent lad than that.
Oh, he is. Yeah, for sure.
Sorry,
I wasn't vibing that you were saying that he was.
Yeah, that's probably just my self-consciousness.
No, like I think a lot of it, you know, Mike Judge was like clairvoyant with Idiocracy, you know, like when he made that movie. I mean, you go watch that movie and it's like, oh crap, that's actually that stuff's happening.
It's like
some of that
really
stuff
close to home. It's like, wait,
which movie?
how old is this?
It's like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
Idiocracy.
Ah, yeah, right.
Yeah,
It's
it's
fairly
it's one of
depressing.
it's one of Mike Judge's like live action movies, and it is it's shocking.
Then I have, was it Brendan Fraser in that?
No, it's Owen Wilson. No, not Owen Wilson. The other Wilson, Luke Wilson,
Luke,
the brown-haired one.
the one with the normal nose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, you know, and it's one of those issues, and I guess it's kind of hits home because like right now I'm just kind of grappling with like raising a child in this world or whatever. But you know, I was talking about it yesterday on stream that it's like, you know, Olivia's daycare it's $17,600 a year to pay for Olivia's daycare. You know, and it's like, should we have another kid? I don't know. I can't afford another $17,000 a year just for the daycare aspect so that we can both go to work.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Right. And it's
You gotta
like,
make a bunch of money because like the choice I had when my son was born, and this was a little bit ago, but it was I could work to pay for insurance and daycare, or I could not work, raise my own kid, and come up with some sort of side hustle to throw in the extra money on his dad's to cover the insurance and stay
Right.
home with my own kid. But I couldn't afford the fancy daycare places. And the idea of leaving my sweet, precious, fragile baby in some broad's house with 7 other kids running around.
right.
So there's no like subsidy by the government for you paying for daycare.
So there are subsidies like if you're, you know, if you're poverty level like or below, we don't meet that metric at all, like not even remotely, you know. And it's one of those situations that like we don't have, you know, it's like when Bernie Sanders gets up and he talks about like when he's talking about a daycare program, like we need daycare for if we have the expectation that here in the 21st century that both parents are supposed to work, like we need to have some kind of daycare set up for people that work, you know. And so you know, it's one of those situations that like I guess, you know, one of us could quit our jobs and then we could technically qualify for like the assistance, but it's like I make more than $17,000 a year, so you know.
Yeah, our government does it down here, and the new Labor government that's just come in has declared that they will raise and contribute more money to subsidizing people's daycare costs for their kiddies.
Right. You know, the big issue is like, you know, we don't have a state, or we don't have a state. I mean, we don't have a federal daycare system. Like we don't. We just have states, individual states come up with levies in order to pay for a voucher that goes to a private company, right? And so it's created a system that the private companies won't open up more daycares unless there's enough demand, right? Now, so right now, if you try to find a daycare spot, it's like, oh, I'm going to need a daycare spot next month. They're like, well, we'll put you on the waiting list. And you're like, how long's the waiting list? They're like, well, it looks like 18 months from now, you know, and you're like, what what, you know, like, okay. And you call around to all the daycares. They're all solid packed full and ain't nobody giving up a spot. Nobody's going to give up their spot because there ain't going to be another
spot was more than my monthly rent was.
Right.
It was like my rent at the time, and been 16 now. So my rent was like $795, and daycare was like $1,100.
Right.
And again, that was just for some lady's house, not like a daycare center.
Right.
Those were like beyond.
Yeah. So we're actually at a center now. We got in at a good school for her, but you know, it's $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that's the thing. It's like it's $1,500 a month for Olivia to go to a decent, you know, what a daycare, preschool, whatever you call it. Yeah, and it's just
My kids went to a home daycare, and it's still subsidised by the government as well.
right.
But we also knew that family quite well, so it was handy to have the inside information that they weren't being educated or raised by lunatics.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's $1,500 a month. It's like it's another mortgage payment. And like if we had another kid, it's like another $1,500 a month when they have to go into daycare, and then it's like after 6 weeks, it's like your 7-week-old is going to a building. You drive them over to a building and drop them off, and then it's like, oh, I'll see you after work. Now that I'll be even more tired from working all day.
Traumatic. Like I don't know what. I've never been a dad, but as a mom, leaving because my maternity leave, I was out for about 7 weeks, and like having to leave my son literally made like my chest hurt.
Yeah.
It was just the work to go work at some stupid job that like had nothing to do with this future human being's impact on the world.
Right.
Like,
well, I'd like the big problem for me is that, and I don't know about other dudes, but this just for me is that like all I wanted to do was be home to help out and help out and do stuff. And then it's like, well, I got to leave for work, which means I got to get up early, and I leave and I'm gone for at least 12 hours, and I work all day and I'm covered in dirt and I'm sweaty and I'm tired and I'm like just wiped out. And then I come home and then try to help, and it's like, fuck, I got to sit down. Like, and it's like, well, what are you doing? Just chilling over there? I've been here with the baby all day, and it's like, okay, I'm trying. Fuck, man, I'm tired, but like, okay, I'm like trying to help, and so it's just, it's, it is what it is. But like ultimately, like the reason I bring up Idiocracy is like we're gonna see more of that. Like I have a buddy that has 9 kids.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it's
he's
like
an overachiever now, isn't he?
Well, it's one of those things where it's like,
does he even own a television?
Well, no, his wife, I think he does. Well, his wife stays home and he goes to work, and they live like in a super cheap house that's like way out of town.
Wow, that's just so unheard of these days, isn't it? Except
and it's like, he goes to work and he comes home and she takes care of the house and just all the kids running around, and it's like, but he lives so far out of town that like all of his kids are all going to go to the same like K through 12 like single building schoolhouse, right? And it's like, your 12-year-old can't be in the same classroom as the 5-year-olds and expect like any kind of like moving into the modern world. You know what I mean? Like what's the expectation you think is going to come out of this? Is that like you're going to have a super weird kid that like moves out at 17 and goes out into the world, probably gets a drug problem because they have not interacted with the world very much, and it probably has very, very, less than desirable outcomes, right?
Sounds exactly like
but
Israel
it's like,
Keys.
What's that?
It sounds exactly like Israel Keys, the serial killer from up your way.
Oh,
Crazy.
they're all from up here. They're all Ted Bundy, all those guys. Gary Ridgway. They're all from up here, man. The Green River Killer, that guy killed like 100 ladies. Like no one ever caught him until like 30 years. How long? Hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
Get to Googling.
Ridgway.
Yeah, Mr. Gromby, I only think it's unheard of these days. My dad's one of 15 kids, and my mum's one of 7. So
yeah,
there's
this
certainly
guy,
an olden day thing, having loads and loads of kids. I wouldn't expect anyone these days so silly to have so many kids.
So this guy Gary Ridgway was the Green River Killer. He was convicted of 48 murders.
But is he the one that kept
He's-
saying in jail that he's done more? And
Yes,
they
he's
keep
he's
trying to.
confessed. He's confessed to over 90 and suspected of more than that. So they've like confirmed over like 90 murders. Like this guy was a crazy. He was like a truck driver that worked at he worked for the Kenworth factory in Renton, and he was like this really like dim-witted weirdo, and he like
He
just
was a
continued to
Bible
kill.
reader. He used to
Yeah.
read his Bible out loud in the break room. So everybody thought he was kind of a dope and like this super religious guy.
When in fact he was just a nut job.
Yeah, it was so yeah, Ridgway is dyslexic and was held back a year in high school. When he was 16, he stabbed a 6-year-old boy who survived the attack. Like this guy just went on. I forget how long it was. It was like 30 years or something. This guy was killing people or whatever. But yeah, he's from up here, and that guy sucks.
Dedication to a cause.
Who was the guy they just got? The Golden State Killer. They got
Oh.
him, and he's like,
Yeah, wasn't it Patton
80 or
Oswald's?
something?
I think it was Patton Oswald's
Yes,
wife
his
that
wife.
figured it out. Yeah, she's the one that figured it out, and they caught him, and then she died, which is crazy. Yeah, so it's yeah, I don't know, but regardless of serial killers, you know, it's just like we know the predicted outcomes, right? Like we know the predicted outcomes of kids that grow up in really tough situations like that. Like we just know, you know, we have enough data to know that like kids that grow up in really abusive, sort of neglectful, you know, situations with no either very little or no opportunities and that kind of stuff. It's like we know that that's bad, and we got to figure out like how to address that in a positive way, or you know, what are we really doing here? You know, it's like, well, I'm gonna make more money and become Elon Musk. You know, it's like, okay. So
One of the things that I find challenging to wrap my head around, and I think you guys can probably appreciate the sentiment, but was like when I became a parent, first off, like the whole world changed. Oh my gosh, my priorities, my conception of love, like all of that. Like I knew it was all going to change, but then it hit, right? And one of the things that as my son grew older and I grew as a person being his mom, was like my protectiveness and investment in him and concern over him didn't just apply to him. Like all of his peers, like all of the kids around him, older and younger, like it just kept getting bigger. And there's a lot of folks who don't worry about that. They're like, my kid's fine. Why would I worry about free lunches? I can buy my kid lunch.
right.
Like,
well, it's just you know, to me, it's like a lot of people look at it like the school districts. They're like, well, it's a point of income, you know, and so I get where the school districts come from because they're like, look, we need money, and it's one of the ways that we can generate some income. Why it's not just standard that kids get a lunch at this point, it makes no sense to me. But you know, even when I was in school like 25 years ago, they still charge $2 a day for lunch, you know, and so my parents would give me $10 a week to buy lunch, and I would never buy lunch because that meant I got $10
yeah,
that I could do, you know, because when I went to school, like a pack of cigarettes was $1.35.
$10
So if you had
was
10
a lot.
So if you had $10, you could buy like 5 packs of smokes. You could sell
No one
2
was
of them.
checking
You
your
could break.
ID back then.
You could break off one of the packs and sell individuals at the school. Make the $10 back, and you're still square. Now you got smokes
Not to
and $10.
mention, you can really step up the game and cigarettes and booze because a single Coors Light back when I was in high school, I could get $5 for 8 years.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys have a slang term for those single cigarettes?
Lucy's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we got down here as well.
Pretty much, yeah. Lucy's. That's
I thought you
More
might have a
along the lines of
fancier
gotta
one than that.
smoke. That's kind of what
Yeah.
I call them.
I mean, it was
G'day,
like
Mark Stilson, another
it was
first
always-
timer. I think I don't recognise your name, sir.
Hi, Mark.
Welcome.
I think it was always pretty much you'd be like 2 smokes for $1 is pretty much what it would go for, unless somebody gave you a hassle about it, and then it was like 3.
1 for 1.
Oh, we
Unless it
always
was
did
like-
a quarter a piece
Yeah.
because it was like $1.25 a pack. You doubled your money back.
You got to make money. You can't
Yeah.
just double your money.
I wonder how
make
many
money.
of today's modern world entrepreneurs started their business by selling Lucy's in the penny arcade.
Well, Gary Vee will probably tell you a story about it. I'm sure.
What I want to know is comparatively, because maybe it was where I grew up, but I don't think so because I grew up in like a cute little country town. But like kids these days, like my kid doesn't hang out. My kid wouldn't be able to get cigarettes. Like he doesn't hang out with anybody like that. And not only that,
I know.
out here in the school, none of the kids smell like cigarettes.
No, they
Not
all
even
vape
the
now.
ones that like are greasy. Yeah, that's true. That's probably
Yeah.
true.
They all just vape now. And the weird thing is that like, and you said kids these days, which just inspired the thought of like, yeah, I mean,
I love
the
kids.
weird thing is that like every generation of kids, it's the same. They're the same, I mean, the kids in the 60s were all smoking weed and, listening to rock and growing their hair too long and blah, 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 and all that stuff.
Hold
And,
their hair.
yeah, it's all the same. It's just on a different level. It just like, oh, what's this crazy techno beat? Like, what is this? What is this? Is this drum and bass? Like, oh, drum and bass was what? That's like old people music, and you're like, okay, what is this?
I
It's like,
remember
oh, it's
when
mumble
my
rap.
son explained dubstep to me.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it's
That's about the
dubstep.
time I started
It's dubstep,
dabbing.
mom, it's dubstep. Don't you know?
And I was like, what is this? It's like I'm like get knocked out of the room.
I thought it was choice when dubstep came out because it was like the closest electronic music to heavy metal, I thought. And then it all just blended into the same sound and all started sounding identical, which I suppose is a lot of people's opinion of heavy metal music as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
My
I mean that's
favorite thing now is when Ben like calls out songs to me that I was listening to at his age. Like he's been telling me Anna. Yeah, I know. And Sublime.
oh yeah.
Like Sublime was old when I was young. Shoot.
Yeah, I used
Yeah.
to know back in the day. I used to know one of the guys that used to play with the guy Bradley from Sublime, and then like he died. He died of a heroin overdose, and you're like,
Yeah, lots of them did.
yeah,
That was such a big thing for a while. Remember Plano, Texas? And how like 50% of the kids there died in a year or something like that from heroin overdoses.
yeah. I mean, I grew up outside of Seattle, so people
Oh,
were
yeah,
dying of heroin
same.
overdoses all the time. Like, I mean, I have a long list of friends that died, that are dead, that are still dead. They haven't come back. I will
Not
I will
yet.
be the first one to tell
Mine.
you if one of them comes back. Okay,
Yeah.
just so you know, I will let you guys know immediately. Oh my God, this guy died 18 years ago, and he's here. He's a zombie. Get to shelter immediately because they're coming back.
She was like, that's it. I'm going live.
Yeah, it's going live. There's a zombie here. What's up? And then a bunch of people would come on and be super pissed I wasn't talking about fish.
What?
What?
Zombie?
What? God
Hey,
damn
what's
it.
up?
So mad. Yeah. But all right. I love you guys. It's my bedtime though. I gotta get up at
It is also my
3:30.
bedtime.
Yeah.
Well, maybe then, if it's everyone's bedtime,
Sandman
And,
next week.
What do you talk about Sandman?
Yeah, I haven't watched any episodes yet. I'm
All right.
saving it for this weekend.
I smashed it all out in like 2 days. It was brilliant. I loved it.
Yeah, I did.
I'm not familiar with the graphic novel or anything. I'm not a graphic novel reader, but I'm certainly into certain adaptations of such things.
Yeah, it's Neil Gaiman, man. He's a good dude.
He's excellent.
Um,
Good Omens, watch that. That's brilliant as well.
Yeah, which I think.
Yeah, sorry,
season
BJ.
2,
There's been
isn't
no
season-
Star Wars news. We got
Isn't
nothing
Good
to talk about.
Omens? Isn't Good Omens season 2 coming out?
Oh, I freaking hope so.
I think
first
so.
season was brilliant.
Let me check. Hold on before we go.
I have a 3-season rule. I won't get into something unless they already have 3 seasons, unless it is like a one-off, unless it's just 1 and 2, like intentionally on purpose.
It's already
think-
wrapped. It's hey.
I find your rule flawed, Shanna. I find it flawed
Why is that?
because what if you gets 3 seasons in, but the 3rd season shit, but by the end of the 3rd season you go, righto, I'll go back and I'll start it now, and you get so invested in seasons 1 and 2, and then season 3 comes around and you're so bitterly disappointed, whereas you could have had super enjoyment for the first 2 seasons before the bitter disappointment of season 3.
That's a risk
Maybe.
I'm willing to take.
Yeah, maybe I'm overthinking it.
So good news. Season 2 has already wrapped.
Nice.
Season 2 wrapped in March and is fully in post-production and probably should be coming out fairly soon.
For those who are looking for Star Wars chat, though, I believe, is it later this month or early September, Andor is finally released. So we'll have a new Star Wars show to talk about.
Yeah, Andor's probably going to come out and retcon a bunch of shit.
Well, I can't remember what retcon means. What does it mean?
It means you fuck up the storyline with your new introductions, basically.
Ah,
It's
right.
the easy way to explain it.
Star
Is that
Wars
like-
is rife with that.
It's that whole like in the timeline, it was 3 years ago, but 15 years later, the next season 5 comes out, and in the timeline, it's been a very short period of time, but somehow the evolution has turned into these guys are legitimate, like super powerful space wizards, where they're able to throw hundreds of rocks, the size of Volkswagens at Darth Vader. Luke Skywalker encounters Luke Skywalker, for instance, as a small boy, encounters somebody carrying around a lightsaber who attacks him and abducts him and takes him out into the desert. And then he's saved by a guy with a lightsaber. And then, by the time he's a teenager, he meets the old guy who's like suspiciously way older than he should be on the timeline. But if, because you're like, why is he super old? It's only been like 15 years because right now he's Kenobi, this guy. But 15 years from now, he's like 90, but yeah. And then he's like, but what is this? Oh, this is from a Age of Legends long ago. Let's talk
it-
in this,
Was it
and
you
then
that
you're
sent me
like,
the
what the fuck?
ET meme? No, it wasn't, was it? Someone sent me an ET meme that ET may have actually been a Jedi because of the links between ET and Star Wars.
Yeah, there's little ET looking creatures in the Senate.
Yeah,
In
but
the-
was that you that
There
sent me that? pic?
are.
What's that?
Was that you that sent me that picture of that?
I don't know. I send you lots of weird pictures.
Yeah,
So-
between you and bloody Z-Beam,
Yeah. There's a lot of
Yeah.
memeing going on. The memeing's strong right now. That's all I'm
the
saying.
meme's strong in our group. Yeah,
That's right.
we're deep in the memes, elbow deep in the memes, boys.
Everybody's talking about smoking in the chat. I quit smoking when Olivia was born, so a little
Good
over,
job.
like almost 4 years ago. Then I vaped for like probably 2 years, and now I've been chewing the gum, nicotine gum.
Violently.
But I got to admit, I really like chewing the nicotine gum, so it's probably I should stop because
See you, Mickham.
I'm
Take
like,
care.
I like nicotine gum. It's pretty good. So I should probably quit, but I don't know.
Yeah, every time I've tried vaping, it hurts my neck so much harder than cigarettes do
Mm.
for some
At
strange
first,
reason.
it kicked my ass. It made me cough all the time.
Yeah.
But I really liked the way it tasted. And all of a sudden, I hated the way cigarettes tasted. And, hashtag addict. So, like,
Right.
I got used to them. And now
Yeah.
I like them entirely too much.
It's one of those things that's like smoking is just so kind of creepily, insidiously bad for you. Because like,
In
I
every
got
right.
sober, I got sober 8.5 years ago. I don't know, but however long ago, 8.5 years ago. And that fundamentally changed my life, but I kept smoking. I kept smoking cigarettes because it was like, well, I got this thing to
It's
cling
the
to.
thing you can have still.
Yeah. So, if there's any kids out there, smoking's bad. Just quit doing it.
Oh my God.
Like
Don't
I said, chew the
start.
gum, vape, do whatever. Just transition out from doing it. Just quit. Just figure out how to quit doing it and just quit doing it because it's fucking you up pretty bad.
I'm starting to feel like this is a personal attack upon me.
Yeah. Blacky, quit
I'm
smoking.
glad you noticed.
All right, I'm closing the chat, and I gotta go because I gotta go to bed.
Righto. Thanks for hanging out. It's been
All
good.
right.
It's been a fun
Have
one.
fun. Have fun out there.
See you soon. You want to close it out with me, Shanna? Will we
Yes,
close the show together? Look at the wind in my hair out here. It's ridiculous.
It's pretty
Um,
luxurious.
It's because I stopped using shampoo and all that shit like 2 months ago. It's all
It's like when
natural.
guys stop drinking soda and lose 40 pounds. You know what happens if I don't wash my hair? It smells bad and I look funny.
Yeah, it only takes like, I think mine took 2 weeks to get over that, and I just make sure I brush it like 2 or 3 times a week, and to spread my natural oils around. And now it doesn't stink anymore. It smells perfectly fine. It's in the best condition it's been in for years and years because it's not fluctuating from adding chemicals and whatnot.
Do you still get it wet? Do you like scrub it
Yeah.
yourself just without soap?
I wet it through every morning in the shower and then flick it about to get as much water out as possible. And yeah, dry it a little bit with a towel. But if I do too much of this with a towel, I end up with hair, out here. It gets massive, huge hair I've got when it spreads. And I'm also, because I'm very overdue, I've got to shave my side bits down. They're getting a little bit long. So the longer that they get, my hair goes out this way more. So if I don't trim them off, I'm going to be pyramid head again.
That's how Ben wears his hair, and I took forever to get his hair cut. And by forever, I mean like 6 months. And he had just been wearing it all down instead of in a ponytail. And he had it up in a ponytail one day, and it was like a whole little chunk all around his head. And I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, it's getting pretty long. I'm like, would you like to go get a haircut? He's like, that'd be great. Okay.
Yeah, I do all my own haircuts too, Mr. Grumby. The last time someone else did it was I used to play in a rock and roll band, and our drummer was a hairdresser. So before we'd have gigs and stuff, we'd all rock down to his salon and we'd get our hair done fancily for free and stuff. It was great. But yeah, now it's just, rip out the clippers and cut off the bits that you don't like. Do the armpits, the pubes, my welcome patch. I don't trim my welcome patch. I leave my welcome patch alone. Now I got this patch like this big on the top of my ass crack, and it's like the hairiest bit on my back, and it's the only spot that I've got hair on my back except for like a long one off this shoulder which grows about 3 inches long before I pull it out, and some random ones like that. But yeah, keep your hair in check, people. Don't be a fascist about it, but
Oh my gosh, real quick, I have to tell you, since we're talking about body hair, I went to go and get waxed, right? And so I made the appointment to get my eyebrows done, my armpits done, my legs, all down south, right? So I get my face all done, get my armpits done. She starts working on my lower legs, and I'm like, all right, you can finish the lower legs, and then we're done for today. I'm out. I'm out. I can't keep going. Call it.
Well, just from the
I'm wussed
waxing.
out on my waxing.
Too much pain, or was she?
It
Was
hurts
she?
so much. It feels exactly like getting hot wax rubbed on your skin and then ripped off. Like, women say it doesn't hurt that bad. Like, that's what my girlfriends told me. It's a lie. It hurts really bad.
I am my how do I say it properly these days? The mother of my 3 oldest children, she once waxed my welcome mat off my back, and I'm not so averse to that kind of pain, but the stupid thing about it was that it just all broke out in pimples. So
Yeah.
I had this ridiculous diamond of pimples that were just festering and pustules of filth just above my butt crack, and it looked
You're like,
ridiculous.
never again. Never again.
Yeah, and my previous girlfriend, she enjoyed, just sitting there playing in the welcome mat, so I just kept it for her sake.
Very kind of you.
I'm a generous lover. No, I'm not. I'm not. Definitely not.
He's very generous with his body hair.
Yeah, I'm what's the word? Munificent, if you want. Anyway, now that I've gone red and embarrassed myself, let's get out of here, shall we? It's been an absolute pleasure having you on board, Shanna. We should do this more often.
Yes.
I'll try and remember to add you into the link tree, and if Mr. Gromby behaves himself, he might get a position on screen one day too. Time will tell, ladies and gentlemen. Time will tell. So what have we done? We've done 2.5 hours. Crikey. I swore I was... Oh, that's right. I was going to have other stuff to do, so I was only going to do a short one, but the internet is still out in Geelong. All right, everyone. Thanks heaps for hanging out. Huawei, love you too, brother. GRB, thanks heaps for slinging links, you guys. Replay Team 6, if you're watching the replay and you made it this far, you're a lunatic, you bloody crazy idiot. Who could sit through this for 2.5 hours? Crikey, I just don't get it. Who else have I got to thank? I don't know. I'll just thank everyone for being here. You're all gems of human beings. And, you deserve to be able to sit there and watch us talk about nonsense. So thanks heaps for hanging out. Can we get another Babyface Bren link in the chat, please? Because that show, my other YouTube show, which is going to be awesome, go and listen to some Comedy Bang Bang podcasts or some of the old TV shows to know what you're going to get into. If not, we'll chase a different audience. But, Comedy Bang Bang is spectacular improvised comedy. I love it a lot. And I'm going to really enjoy doing this show with Bren on his channel. So, yeah, I'd super wired to have you all along for the ride. Baby choice. Righto. Thanks again, everyone. Take it easy. And we'll see yous when we's looking at